How to make the hottest Dijon mustard. This is classified as a Dijon style mustard, or lowercase Dijon. Uppercase Dijon, or Burgundy mustard, has its own set of rules. So I'm not following Burgundy rules, but I am following mustard rules. We'll start with black or brown seeds, which are going to be hotter than the yellow seeds. I'll cover the seeds with icy cold water, shake it up and make sure all of them are submerged, and let it sit for an hour. After an hour, we see some floaters. These seeds are not viable, meaning if you put them in the ground, they won't grow. They're also hard and flavorless and will make it difficult to strain, so I'm just going to pull them out anyway. This is a recent addition to my mustard making process. So if you miss a couple or skip this step completely, it's no big deal. I drained and rinsed my seeds, so I'll top it back up with fresh icy water. I started with 1 cup of seeds, so I'm topping it with 1 cup of the icy water and 1 cup of white wine. The thing is with lowercase Dijon is that there's not a lot of rules. It's just classified as a mustard with white wine or verjus, which is unfermented acidic grape juice or pre-wine. We'll stir this really well and then cover it and let it sit on the counter for 24 hours. At a very minimum, you want it to be soaking for 4, though I don't find that to be long enough. 12 hours is fine, 24 hours is perfect, 36 hours also fine. Longer than that, you start to lose the flavor of mustard in the seeds. However, you can slow all these processes down in the fridge. 24 hours later, I drained and rinsed my seeds. Now I'm using an immersion blender to try and crush as many seeds as I can. Now, this is the only part of the process that I'm not being so nitpicky on. Mustard makers often won't use anything with metal or electricity. The flavor of mustard is very volatile, meaning that it evaporates easily. And my immersion blender does generate heat, which will lose some of that flavor. Believe me, this mustard turned out plenty hot. I did give myself a lot of breaks while processing this so I wouldn't generate too much heat. If it starts to feel a little warm, just throw a few ice cubes in there. I'm adding 1/4 cup of icy water and will continue to process. Water is a very important ingredient in mustard, so the quality of it matters. I won't use tap, and often I will buy alkaline water. The less acidic that your water is when it first comes into contact with the ground mustard, the hotter your mustard will be. I'll add another 1/4 cup of water and then 3/4 of a cup of white wine. What kind of white wine? My answer is always the same, no matter the context. Something you drink, my go-to is Sauvignon Blanc, but not Moscato. The last additions to this will be the seasoning and the vinegar. Both vinegar and salt will prevent the formation of allyl isothiocyanate, which is the chemical that is the flavor of mustard. However, vinegar and salt will also preserve that heat. Remember, it's volatile and the flavor wants to leave us. These are not preserving the mustard itself, just the flavor. Plenty of salt, onion and garlic powder, turmeric, and a pinch of allspice. One of my favorite catchphrases is mustard is bitter on its birthday, meaning some of the bitter compounds left over from the chemical reactions we created will linger. Oftentimes it's just as simple as sticking it in your fridge overnight and it's ready the next day. However, this is a really harsh mustard. With this mustard recipe, I feel comfortable just leaving it on my counter overnight or maybe even a few days. So when people ask about my hottest Dijon, I just show them.